Uh, take a look at your Discord. Maybe I'll see something. Oh, you're zoomed. Wait, zoom in. Zoom in. What's with that division north of San Luis? It seems to be moving. It's got arrows on it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
I told these guys to go mess this up.
uh I might wait. They're pulling one of those divisions out, so if you wait, you might only have to fight one instead of two. And you probably want to attack with more than 5 divisions if they're the small ones, or divisions are still in training. Might
How about
want
these guys? Oh yeah, I can emergency deploy these.
to. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do that. You can pre-deploy some of these guys in Jalisco to make sure they don't push further.
Right here.
Even if they're there and just doing exercises, it'll still discourage the enemy from attacking. So,
All right.
oh, you don't need to. you
Hmm?
there was a button to deploy in divisions individually. You dumped all three in the same state in the same
Uh,
province. You next to
I
each
see.
division there was a smaller thing. What you just did is put all three in one place, which is not
Yeah.
ideal. Uh, you don't necessarily. Oh,
At
you.
the walk.
First of all,
Or hmm?
I was gonna say first of all, you could they'd probably be discouraged from going further just by the presence of those divisions there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Plus, they
and
should be able to push it off with 3 of these, even if they're green, right?
I would have them exercise at least till they reach trained, since they're very close. But just their presence, I think, will discourage them from pushing any further out. The victory point isn't that immediately important. Like it's not enough to give them control factors. If you look at your front lines, do you see how that red thing is wrapping all the way around? That's the issue. Part of the issue. You can't have fronts that completely encircle something like that. Does all
Oh.
sorts of screwy things.
Yeah.
That's why you want to break that front into like 3 pieces or something instead of like giant fronts like that around encirclements. Almost always have issues. You need multiple
Uh.
smaller ones, and you got to make sure the divisions are obviously in place. Like those guys who are in the jungle are not currently like you reduce the size of the front, but they'll try and march out of the jungle if you don't like
Yeah.
create a new front that's just their current province. So that's the offensive line. Yeah. Um, you can see there's 2 divisions in that blue part. If you control or whatever click to select the divisions that are currently assigned to that front to find out where they are,
Oh, it's these training guys.
those 2 are the ones that are currently assigned to that. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh no, it's if highlights. It's
Do
one
I
them.
assign these two?
It's one of those, and where are those 2 assigned? Do you even know?
Right here. Oh, these two? They were supposed to go up here.
Ah, you pull them, or they.
Yeah, I pulled them. They don't seem to want to move there. But I should probably keep them down here now.
They
So.
probably that was the AI thinking that it would endanger the front there. And if you got the other exercises, you probably need them to stay there.
Oh, I thought you were shift clicked. Whoops. There we go.
Um, so you see that one that's right now it's a 3-in-1 distribution though, because so the AI will try and pull one of those. I would create that. I would turn that into 2 microfronts so that you know exactly where the divisions will be and they don't move around.
Can't I
So,
just do that?
uh, I mean, you could, but you probably want to keep them where they are. So that province threatens both. The AI doesn't like to move out of a province if it's threatened too heavily. Um, wait a second. Is their capital undefended? Is there anyone
Yeah.
there?
No, it's undefended. They use both troops to take Aguas Calientes.
Hover over the guy who's marching, and you stop. If you zoom out so much, you can't see a lot of detail. I don't know why you keep. It'll take them
I'm not zipping out that far.
4 days and 7 hours to reach their capital. You could probably take their capital. It's completely undefended, get a medal from it, and then pull back and let them retake their capital. Although it might move their capital north, but whoever takes the capital will get a medal. This is a golden opportunity. Completely undefended capital. I wouldn't move those guys because you probably want them to dig in for when they retake. So the way to do this and not have divisions going crazy and moving all over the place. Joe?
Yeah.
Oh. The way to do this and not have divisions move over the place is you probably want that the divisions that are currently north of that one division that's north of San Luis. That guy. I'd probably remove him from the front he's currently assigned to and make that front just the one province west of him.
Nope.
It's you got to drag that part. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. Now this guy. If he takes San Luis Potosi, then he'll just end up. He won't be. You could assign him to that front to his northeast. That's there. And then, I mean.
He won't finish training.
Oh, is that under a different general? They're both blue. You didn't change the colors of the armies so that they won't.
Oh yeah, one is blue, one is purple. I should make this a less.
You could change it.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like they're. Oh, that's a different general. That's the offensive guy, isn't it? Or no?
No, this guy. I just made this guy to train my newbies.
Who's purple?
Purple's the one I'm doing all the attacking with, the jungle rat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, purple is the jungle rat.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily. I was gonna say I wouldn't necessarily push into that jungle there, but especially with what's going on with the capital.
I have jungle rat now, so I can stop grinding.
I mean, you probably shouldn't have gone jungle rat anyways, because now it's gonna make Mountaineer's progress a lot slower. He has 2 earned traits, so he gains Mountaineer XP at 1/4 rate, which is not gonna be appreciable. It's to prevent generals from getting like 50 earned traits. Well, I mean, there aren't even 50 in the game, but like, because infantry leader is an earned trait, so is jungle rat. So both of those, he's not gonna get Mountaineer in any appreciable amount of time. Now he's a third of the way there, but he's gaining XP at 1/3 rate, and he's gonna gain Organizer, and maybe even Engineer, which are gonna slow it down even further. So he's just a jungle rat. He's never gonna reach Mountaineer, probably, or not in reasonable time. But yeah, since you already have it, the spelled milk, all that. But yeah, I might. I was gonna say those divisions around the jungle. I might switch him to the guy who has 20 divisions under him, Cubalas, and so that they don't actually attack anything, and draw a new front there along the jungle with some of them.
You'll have too many divisions.
I mean, it doesn't matter if none of them are in combat, really. It might hurt planning and logistics a little bit. Hold on. Stop this We Are Soldiers thing. It's making it hard to focus. So you zoom in, because I'm trying to see what's going on with... Your front line had 7 divisions, but there's only 2 that were actually in the provinces on the front lines. So you had something really weird going on. You must have reassigned divisions between fronts in a weird way. That's what opened up the gap in the first place at Aguascalientes. Because that thing that has no divisions right now, do you see? Northeast of San Luis?
Yeah.
That had 7 divisions assigned to it, but there's only 2 who are standing adjacent to it. Those guys...
It was the 7 in here.
But they wouldn't stand there because the front line doesn't they always stand where the front is, and the
Yeah,
front
these
line
guys are
was
on this front line. I maneuvered them. Oh yeah, the front line extended to here, and then I told them to battle, and then I changed the front line and made this not be
oh
part of the line.
okay. I was gonna say
Because
something
when
weird
they
was
were
going
trying to
on.
invade Monterey back when I had this part of that
Yeah.
front line, so I had to split it off so they wouldn't go to Monterey.
Yeah, I
Instead,
suspect
they
you
go up.
accidentally selected the guys to the southwest, and some of those came from Aguascalientes or something, because they must have come from somewhere. The divisions that left Aguascalientes, they must have gone somewhere on your else on your front. Which my guess is that they're part of that 10 divisions in that one province. Uh, anyways, but yeah. Oh no, I would not do a giant front like that. They'll start redeploying southeast, and you're going to probably want to pull some of those guys southwest near Aguascalientes. But what I was going to say is those two guys who are standing next to the jungle,
Yep.
right? So I'm trying to. You don't want the guys in the jungle push out. So those two divisions, them and the one to the northwest,
This guy.
I would unassign because the him and the other one, those two guys I was saying.
Remember, these two are exercising.
Yeah. So I'm trying
Okay.
to give it strategy here with the oh yeah, they're exercising, so they have almost no org. So what I would suggest is all right, take oh, I think I know this can work. And exercising divisions don't have much org, so you need probably more there to make sure they don't reunite that with their capital. So I would say take the one that's exercising to the west of there, not the 7th M. Assign him to that little micro front, but um, I wouldn't draw the front line on San Luis because you're probably going to take San Luis while it's undefended. Instead, uh, yeah, I would just cancel that. Also, why do you have Cardenas in charge of any troops? Isn't he like not a great general? Why I was trying to figure out why you assigned him.
I just wanted someone with three three supply skill,
uh,
and he's fine.
he's your country leader, so he can't become. Though he won't be your country leader anymore once you switch ideology, will he? I know you will. He just gets a new trait.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he remains your country leader. That's if you do
Oh,
communist
he
revolution that
does.
you switch leaders. He just gets a trait, protector of the campesinos. Uh,
Okay.
if you flipped communist a different way, your country leader would change. But yeah, he can't ever be a member of the military high command if he's your country leader. So I was trying to. He actually has one more attack skill than he would normally have at his level, so he's not terrible. Like if you did communist revolution or you got the generic event, any of those things um, would make him no longer the country leader, and then he could be military high command, but someone else would become a country leader. Anyways, so I would move that one that's already exercising. I guess he's decent. I forget you don't have many good choices for generals as Mexico yet. So I would take that, assign him to that, the province east of them. Uh,
What?
sorry. So that guy and the division east of him. I'm trying to get you to select both at once.
These two?
Yes, I would delete that front there actually. Um, create a microfront based off of the border of that province with the jungle instead. So front line. No, no, where the one, not that province, the province that's bordering the jungle to the northeast. Do you see where you were attacking before? But don't draw it there. Right click there.
I'm confused.
Do you see where that mountain borders the jungle? You're not where the jungle mountain borders the other mountain. The province is a tile, and you're clicking the southwest border of the tile. I'm saying to click the northeast border of the tile.
Here?
That yes, with the border there, it's still because when you take San Luis, you're no longer going to have a border with with that San Luis because it's now your territory. Yeah, and then I would add the other guy who's east of there. I mean west of there. Sorry, to that, and then I would draw like an offensive line. He's not. He's just going to be exercising, so it doesn't matter. It's just so they get planning, and I would strategically redeploy that guy who's already doing exercises there. You could, yeah, you could tell him to move and then add strategic redeploy. Just it doesn't matter. B is the shortcut for that, I think, or is it G? Um, so they'll get there, I think, before the end of the day, anyways. So they won't even lose training progress because there's a railroad that runs there. If you hover over it, it'll tell you how long till he arrives. 17
17
hours.
hours.
Yeah, so he'll get there before the end of the day. He won't even slow his training down, and that will because one division that's doing exercises is kind of a not very good thing to hold those guys in the jungle because they have very little org. So having a
Yeah.
second one there will help ensure they don't try and take that mountain, or at least it takes a little while for them to take it. The other two that are currently staying behind that aren't moving, the two Brigade Agoristos there, um, you can if you take their capital, then they'll be encircled in Aguascalientes actually. So I would just draw a spearhead into Aguascalientes with them, and they'll start getting planning. Um, and that'll keep though none of those divisions, like, now you know where they're going. Now you have that giant front, the red front that has six divisions assigned. Yeah, that's really messy, and it's going to cause issues with not knowing where people are going to go. Uh, so the way I would do that is I would that division way up there I would unassign. You need to break that up into micro fronts, or it's going to be messy as heck, and you're not going to know where division's going. So in fact, I would delete that entire or reduce its length. It's just too big for around an encirclement. And so I would assign the divisions that are already in place, those guys. Um, yeah,
There.
just those three. And draw, I guess, a spearhead into Aguascalientes through San Luis. Um,
Oh,
or
these guys up here are assigned to this. Should I put them all on this?
yeah, just so you know where they are for now, so that you don't get weirdness.
Yeah.
Um,
Run off on me.
so now you have six divisions bordering San Luis Potosi.
They. Why are they taking attrition?
Probably because if you left click on them, you can see. Probably because they don't have any supply. Oh, no, it's because they were marching in the mountains, I
Ah,
guess.
okay.
Mountains always impose attrition, which is why you always want to strategically deploy through them if you're not under threat.
Yeah.
Um, Same with jungles. So as for taking I mean, as for, well, not taking Escalentes, because they'll just recapture the capital from there. You got the three divisions southwest of it, and they're just hanging there prevent, to train and to prevent the enemy from trying to push any further.
Yeah.
They could also do a front line, so they start building planning just in case you need them to attack at some point, like to delay an enemy, not to actually take Escuentes, but to do a delaying attack or something. Yep, if you're release. So now you've got divisions that can attack them from two sides, which is good. That way you'll open up more combat width, because mounds only have 50 combat width. That'll bring it up to 75, I think. With 354 plus 12. Yeah, so that'll be 66 with a division, so they won't suffer over width penalties this way. Because the 3 south add up to 54. So if they attacked without the northern part, they would have overwidth penalties. Um, anyways, now you got 5 divisions on the border southeast of San Luis. Do you see that front line?
Yep.
Yeah. You don't always have to click and drag. In fact, that's how you easily select divisions you don't want. If you click on the front line itself, hover over it, it'll tell you. Control right click to assign divisions assigned, and then you can
I
see,
know.
and then you don't risk doing a click and drag. Cause I stopped ever doing click and drags because it, or almost always, I still sometimes, but I avoid it because that's how you easily select other provinces if you're too zoomed out and you don't realize it. That's like if you're zoomed way out, just to show you what happens. I think this is how Aguascalientes. You see how they all merge? Like now you're selecting 27 divisions all over the map. So I think
Yeah.
that's how you ended up. You clicked and dragged a box from far away, because you were too zoomed out. It merges them together when you're zoomed out, and then you ended up selecting the defenders of Aguascalientes, and you sent them up there when you were doing something up there. That's why I try and stay zoomed in when I'm actually messing with battle plans, because if you zoom out, it'll stack divisions that are in different provinces. You can be
Maybe.
zoomed out when you're just
No.
watching, but when you're changing the plans, you usually need to be zoomed in. You also see detail you can't see otherwise. But anyways, those 5, if you click the front, right, select them, you can have them, what I would have them do is first march into San Luis, like draw a spearhead. Or actually, yeah, just, um, you
Can I
probably
make
don't,
these guys purple?
yeah, actually, you probably want them under purple now that I think about it. And you're gonna have to delete that because you changed generals. And if you draw a little front there, you can just have, yeah, you can have these 5 take the capital. They might get their other, well, you have to actually assign the front because they automatically
Yep.
reassign to other fronts. That's the other thing. When you switch divisions from one general to another, they automatically reassign to fronts that belong to that general. So, like, if
Oh.
you change the units in Aguascalientes, if you change their general at some point and you didn't unassign them from the, because they automatically reassigned to some random front that was already drawn somewhere else, and then you forgot about it, then they marched away from Aguascalientes. That's another way you might have accidentally. Like what I'm
Yeah.
trying to
They
say is
could have got switched to one of these fronts.
yes. So it
I don't
wasn't
know.
it wasn't that they just marched off for no reason. It was human error. It
Yeah.
was that you accidentally
Well, yeah.
reassigned to another front, either by being too zoomed out or by switching what they were under without realizing that would send them to a different front. Because when you switch what general someone's assigned to, they automatically get assigned to one of the fronts that general owns if he owns any fronts. So, um, but yeah, you could now have. I mean, oh, you keep at really fast pace. You're
What's the
selecting
clicking do?
50 things, and I'm struggling to stay on top of it. But yeah,
Sorry.
so
What does
uh,
double clicking do exactly?
it selects every unit of a given template. I think
Ah, okay.
on the map, everything you can see, or it's very. I don't know. It
I think it's based on army in part.
Yeah, it might be everyone in an
Maybe.
army or do I like you
Yeah.
just
That's
selected
the whole.
22 divisions there. So, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
The
it's everyone
entire Red
under
Army.
yeah. um so yeah, oh, it stopped or they're under the middle guy. I keep wanting to think the first guy is defensive because I usually have like the general who's actually attacking the first in the order, so I know, but okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so those guys will start marching into San Luis once you unpause because they're under the guy who's executing plans. And
Yeah.
the second guy, and you've got that division that's assigned. I would take that division in the jungle and delete that microfront since you're going to end up taking San Luis and you need to defend the jungle so they don't march south and from there north of it. And I would create another microfront on that border just so it can be defended. Um, Yeah, and you can draw a spirit if you want or something, so that keeps up planning. So now you're defending those two provinces, and you'll have 3 divisions to hold off those 3. If they actually attack, they would probably win. But and now you got those 10 divisions north, because north towards the top of the map. I forget you struggle with north, south, east, west, right?
Well, just east and west. North and south are really easy
Um,
for some reason.
could be a never mind. Um, okay, so yeah, they're 10. Oh, those are brigade agoristas, all of them. So that's
Yeah,
30
they're all small
battalions
force.
worth. Um, Still, even if you defended, you'd suffer stacking penalties with that many divisions. That's a good source of divisions that you can put elsewhere. You can send. Um, I would unassign some of those divisions and send them to contain Aguascalientes probably, just to make sure like 2 to the northwest in the undefended mountain maybe. 5 is a lot, and I wouldn't. You don't need that many, but I would just pick 2, maybe the 2 least experienced, since they're not going to be fighting, like the 12th and the 10th there, because they're inexperienced. And I would unassign them, the little minus sign. It's always a good idea before you assign anyone anywhere, because otherwise they won't do whatever you want, and you'll forget they're assigned to a different front. And I would draw a little micro front there, just right click. You don't even have to click and drag, and you can draw a spirit into Aguascalientes just so they keep up planning when they get there. And if you try and draw it later, they'll stop moving, and then strategically redeploy those 2 to the to where they're going to go, to the mountains there, and they'll get there in I don't know how many days. Uh, 20 hours or a day
Oh,
and 16. So
yeah.
they'll get there in a couple days, and that will help make sure that the guys in Aguascalientes stay in Aguascalientes. Um, and yeah, you can eventually consider. I might take another division, like one more from that stack of 8 that are still in the other general, and stick them on the other province that's further away. Again, maybe the 9th Brigade or the 46th. Someone who's not too experienced. Yeah, that'll. Uh, yep. And yeah, if you just strategically redeploy him there,
Oh,
just click on the front and you got it. And yeah, that should be more than enough to contain them. Like with 3 divisions to their north and west, 3 to their south, and 2 to their northeast, and some to their southeast, they're not going anywhere. They'll stay put. They know better than to attack out of that. And that still leaves you with 7 divisions south of Monterey, and the ones who are pushing. Now, a good thing about the push, if you go look at it, that's northwest. A good thing to remember is when they take that province, all 6 of them will move north, and there'll be no one covering their rear. So you probably want some of those. No, no, no. It's good the ones they're attacking, but you want smaller defensive divisions. This is how you do like. This is a good strategy to learn when you're actually like making armored pushes, especially because tanks take provinces quickly and move fast. Is to have like infantry or motorized that can fill in behind them. So, um, what I would do is you could either assign to that front line under the other general and just not order him to manually attack, but then they might attack somewhere else because he's executing a plan.
yeah.
Oh, did you cancel the execution of the guy with 11? It looks like
Yeah, so that it would be happening again when I do it so that they attack here.
I think they would have automatically attacked there. But yeah,
Oh, I saw that when I drew a front line during a plan that was being executed, they wouldn't execute
oh,
it.
okay. All right. Well,
Although
yeah.
I don't know if that's 100% of the time.
Well, you can send them to execute now, and you actually don't want these divisions to move. So I was going to say, so it would take some of the ones that are south of Monterey, some of those Brigade Agueristas, like the ones that you have marching currently. They're just going to march there and march right back because they're not, don't have a front. The ones they're marching northwest.
This guy.
So I would actually assign them to the other front. By like that, I mean switch armies, just control click, and then strategically redeploy him there instead of having him manually march. He should be the only guy who's got the purple color. The Brigade Agarista guy's got the there. So you see where he is,
Yeah.
where you see he's going. It's mountains, so I would strategically deploy, and also you want, or it's actually desert there, but you want him there fast anyways. And then he'll sit there. Once he's organized, he'll be more effective. But you need at least one guy to make sure that the other divisions don't get encircled and destroyed. Because if they all
Yeah.
march north and there's no one to guard the area they just left, then they'll get like encircled and destroyed. So yeah, I would have one or two divisions that are behind him. And if you're going to keep pushing north, if you scroll the map up a little, you see how the front.
I need that one as well.
You're gonna yes, you're also gonna need people to fill in that mountain. So you might even take more. That mountains are great defensive terrain, so you could probably hold that mountain with like 3 divisions. So I might grab 2 or 3 of those guys. I probably just grab 2 of them. So I would unselect one, and I would send those 2 guys there as well. And they'll get there, and then they'll reorganize, and then they'll just sit. And eventually, as the front line expands north, they'll automatically fill in behind the other guys when they push north further. The AI might use some of them to keep the push going because those guys who are currently attacking are losing org and losing planning, and so the general might try and rotate out who actually does the fighting.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what the AI will decide to do with who attacks after you take that province to keep pushing north, but the ones who are strategically redeploying now should probably just sit in the desert there and guard it behind, and that'll balance it because there's 10 divisions, and so it'll be a 6 and 4. So it might even try to march one of the better divisions back south after you take the mountains, which is kind of fine, I guess. Since you're gonna have trouble supplying that many divisions that far forward, and then it'll take a portion of the ones who are in the mountains and it'll push north the rest of the way. The AI will. So it'll have 5 and 5, and then it'll take some of the 5 and have them push. So that's actually a reasonable. These guys is 3. Don't you were double clicking? It was selecting the whole army before.
This guy.
Yeah, that guy you could also send, I guess, down to that one that's just got 1 there. If you just assign to front. Oh, you didn't assign. I don't think he's assigned to that front, is he? Because if you control click the front or whatever, it'll. I think it's still just 1 division. Yeah, you
Oh,
didn't.
I
You
thought.
sent him
What?
there, but you didn't reassign
Oh,
him.
I assigned him to this one.
Yeah, you need
To the,
to. Yeah, you selected the end point of the offensive line instead
yeah.
of the front. So
Okay.
yeah, but if you select him now, uh, yeah, just the 52nd Brigade, yeah, you could. And yeah, that should be more than enough to, because eventually you'll want to push him out of Aguascalientes. The way I envision this working, and tell me if I'm making no sense or if you want to do something else or whatever, it's your choices. But the way I envision is the 5 divisions march into San Luis, right?
Yeah.
They got a division marching back to San Luis who meet them there, and they'll probably have to do a fight, but they'll be most of the way there already. They might have to deorg that 1 division, the 10th Brigade. They'll outnumber it 5-1. It will be a fairly quick fight. Then the enemy retreats back to Aguascalientes. Then you can pull out of San Luis, let them go march back and push them out. At that point, then they will take division. Once you pull back out of the capital, then they will march a division from Aguascalientes again, but it'll probably be the fully organized one because they're not going to attack with a Dior division.
Yeah.
and then you can push the really Dior division Aguascalientes, and that'll also be a really easy fight. It's possible you reach their capital before that division is marching, in which case you get the defenders advantage. And also, it's possible that they decide that they don't want to attack at all. Like they either call off an attack or they see what you're doing to them. So I can't guarantee this will work, but it depends on how aggressive they're being. Um, but yeah, I'll unpause it. I guess if you want to see it, if this stuff play out, let me save it in case it goes
All right.
horribly wrong and you like lose the war because
Yeah.
I'm not as strategically. Let me put it this way: I'm not as strategically brilliant as I used to be, thanks to
I
like
think it's
long COVID.
gonna be fine.
So, I make big mistakes these days. Uh, just making sure it's not something I'm neglecting. Yeah, I'll pause and we'll see what happens.
Oh, what are you doing?
Huh?
This one guy's trying to take Aguascalientes.
Oh yeah, because he's on the. Are the others? Yeah, the others are. He's doing a holding action. Is what he's really doing. Is he's
Is he?
attacking so that
Do
the
I
other
want him to
division.
do that?
Yeah, it's not actually a terrible idea. He attacks that guarantees the other four divisions can take San Luis unopposed. Then when
Fair enough.
you can manually cancel the attack at that point, and then you'll have defender's advantage in San Luis. So
Right.
I would let him do that. I mean, like he
I
might
understand.
the AI might not be smart enough to stop the holding action, or it might just wait till that division gets defeated. But it's actually a pretty smart idea, or it might not realize you want to like pull back out or
It
leave them
might
in
be pointless.
Aguascalientes. It might be hoping that it can get an encirclement and kill those divisions because that's also possible, given how like it's yellow
Yeah.
and not red. They might actually win. Just that one division. It'd be
Oh,
funny if
these
they.
guys are doing a manual thing.
Oh, yeah.
How do I switch them off of that?
Uh, you really can't. For now,
No.
I would leave them
Just hold the
alone.
attack,
If you
or
cancel
do I
attack,
go
they lose
away?
all their movement progress. So what's currently happening is the moment they win the fight, they instantly move in because they've already finished their movement. They've been attacking so
Ah,
long. So I would leave them alone because this is a rapid fire, like take provinces in quick order, and if you slow them down, they'll have more time. They're actually pulling divisions out of Monterrey and Reynosa to try and stop that push. If you look, Reynosa actually, the division in Reynosa is probably strategically redeploying to stop that spearhead, or at least manually marching. But it looks like he's deorged, so I think he's strategically redeploying into Monterrey, and from Monterrey into where you're attacking, he'll probably march, or one of the divisions in Monterrey will move once he's in Monterrey. So they're just
all
making
right.
sure they don't lose Monterrey when they try and stop your push. But yeah, that's my guess, and I may be attributing too many brain cells to the AI, but I mean they
Yeah.
have none. Too many silicon chips, whatever. But I think that's what they're doing.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. At -6 chromium, I need to buy some more from the Soviets. Jeez, I'm buying so much chromium from them for stainless steel production. All right, sorry, I'm trying to pause it before the day rolled over, and oh well. At this point, been adding
Gotta
dockyards, so I
spend
need.
some command power.
Oh, you're almost at the cap, or you're at the cap already?
At 30, I'm 10 away from the cap, or
Yeah.
12.
Um.
Should I just promote a 52 experience officer?
I would right click on you see to the left of his portrait to see where that division is currently. See if they're in combat.
He's attacking into the mountains.
It's the sixth division.
Yep, the
Yeah. So
6.
if you left click on the to find like so it close that for a second. If you, the reason is how much experience does the 6th have? Yeah, they'll drop down to trained if you promote him because divisions was a quarter of their experience. When you
Unless I
promote,
do one of these ones.
they're getting pretty close to seasoned. Did you didn't promote that guy to infantry specialist before, right?
I might have.
Oh.
No, not yet. But
Um,
only cost 5.
yeah, you could do that to delay it, or actually, there's a better use of the command power though. If you wanted to find, this is a little more. Find one of your generals who's in charge of divisions that aren't currently in combat. So I would just instead of going via the junior officers list, I would actually do this by finding a division that's deployed somewhere not very vital, probably or that's currently in training. Probably one of the divisions in north of Chihuahua. See at the desert up there. Whoever you do this with, you're gonna have to retrain them. They're gonna drop down the train, but you can run exercises. So I might pick like the 51st, just because the other two are closer together on the list. Just because I like it's easier to see when they're all next to each other. If you promote that guy, that one division will drop down the train. Augustin Bowl.
All right.
And I know he doesn't have any experience, but he can still become a brilliant strategist or something if you're lucky.
Nope.
New
Wow, I have the worst
personality.
luck.
Jeez. Your luck sucks, man. Each of these is supposed to be a
Yeah,
50
I've
50
lost like
coin flip.
3 coin flips in a row.
1 in 8 chance of that happening. So it's not impossible, but
Yeah.
that division, if you click on it now, because I want maybe you can both demonstrate this, and it's now only
Right.
trained
Now you
instead of
crap.
what?
Go over here. Now it's
Yes.
crap.
So what I would do is you switch him that
Just
guy,
stick
but
them in this one.
if you notice, he just remember how I said he assigns to a new front line somewhere. So I would unassign
Yeah.
that because otherwise he'll go somewhere
Oh,
else
more like
random.
here.
Yeah, we just created a microfront there, and you could draw that or whatever there, and then he'll exercise up and he'll get back to regular. They're unlikely to attack because 2 of the divisions are still fully entrenched there. They're not gonna push across that river. It's not. It'd be a
Yeah.
suicide. And yeah, if you keep doing this, you'll get some.
How is this happening? That
This
can happen?
they're attacking with a division from.
The province that I'm attacking.
Yeah, what probably
That can happen?
not usually unless the division like the way they would have had to happen is they would have had a division march and like they would have had to give a division an order to attack there that involved them marching through the division place that was under attack, and sometimes it can proc them joining the
Oh.
defensive battle a little bit later than them attacking, and that can happen. It's rare, but they should be
Not
in
supposed
2
to happen.
combats at once if they're doing that. Uh, that's the 5th Brigade, and they're also in the reinforcements queue of that battle, right?
Then, yeah, 9A. Yep.
So after an hour,
Getting
they
in the right.
should get the penalty for being in 2 combats at once. If they don't, then it's a bug. Like that, they should get a in multiple combats penalty in just a second. Of course, your divisions who are attacking will also all get that penalty. So it's actually, uh,
Oh, that sucks.
it does. It's a bug that shouldn't have been able to happen, but it's an order of it. In what
Actually, they're not. These guys aren't in reserves.
they're not in reserves
Wait.
for the. Yeah, there's weird things that happen with multiple combat stuff. I could not. Some of them
Great.
are.
Yeah, so these guys should be safe.
Yeah, well, currently it's just the agoristas, the guys who are holding the rear, who are defending,
Unless
is
they
what it
get
is.
added to reserves in an hour, which is possible.
Yeah, I don't know what'll happen in an hour when I unpause it, but something will happen. That's all I can tell you. Something will
Oh,
happen.
he died.
He deorged. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was predictable. It was gonna take like he was attacking with
You
no
can
org.
stack wipe units, right?
What?
You can stack wipe units, right? Like,
Stack?
as in, sorry, EU4 term, like delete them off the map if you attack them while they're deorged.
No. The only way to delete a unit off the map is to either overrun it or to encircle and destroy it,
Okay.
or to just kill so many men. There's 0 men left in the division, but that takes forever. Um, so
Right.
you
How
can
do you
insert.
overrun it?
That's if you deorg a division, so they withdraw on the
Yeah.
defensive. So they would start withdrawing, and then you take the
Yeah.
place they're withdrawing to before they get there. So
Oh.
you control both the division they're moving out of, I mean the province they're moving out of, and the province they're moving to. They'll either instantly die or it'll start a battle where they try and attack the province they're moving into, and if they lose that battle, they die and disappear.
Okay.
So that's an overrun. You can do it. I've done it with like I've regularly overrun tanks with infantry doing this just by planning like knowing where they're going to retreat to when I take a province and starting a battle to take that province. The complete like if you order it right or um if they're out of fuel, they move really slowly. Sometimes I can make sure the province they're retreating to it's gonna be undefended, and I'll just move in some troops very quick. There's a lot of like things you can do with this. Um,
Yeah.
it's how I got the achievement, the like not the Steam achievement, the other achievement for overrunning infantry tanks is tanks no tanks. It's because yeah, and I did that with infantry. It's not actually that hard if once you get a good sense of where they're going to retreat and know how overruns work. Motorized divisions, by the way, are really great for getting overruns. Uh, so
Oh, makes sense.
when you have some trucks, yeah, they move fast. Light tanks are not bad at it either. Mobility is a huge advantage for actually destroying divisions. So I know players are in
Yeah.
love with medium tanks, but light tanks have some major advantages, and one of them is they're much better at getting overruns than medium tanks because they move faster.
Okay.
Anyways, on pause it.
Yeah. In EU4, it's called a stack wipe. I figure it'd be a Crusader Kings term as well, wouldn't it? Or I
uh,
suppose they have levies, so I have no idea how it works in Crusader Kings.
uh, divisions. There's no way to eliminate like division armies entirely in Crusader Kings. I don't think they usually just retreat somewhere. It's very
They
hard
always
to.
retreat.
Yeah, they pretty much you can reduce. You might be able to take no, because if you take the place they're retreating to, they just retreat through it. They just
Oh.
continue to make a shattered. It depends if you have the shattered retreat rule on or
What
not.
happens if they have a shattered retreat and you just go to where they're retreating to when you're waiting there with an army, and then you
That's
beat
what I'm saying.
them?
If they're doing a shattered retreat, they should withdraw all the way to their capital, and there's nothing you can do to kill them while they're en route. If you have shattered retreat rule off, which it's on by default, but if it's
Yeah.
off, then there are ways where you can attack where they're going to, and they still fight again. They don't just die, but they fight at like zero organization, so you instantly win the battle, and you can just keep bullying them, and you kill
Oh,
some of
so
them
they
in
just
each battle.
slowly so they just slowly bleed down.
Yeah, you have to basically kill every last
Oh,
man to destroy a stack
see,
in Crusader
in
Kings. But the fights
in
are very
EU4.
easy because they're already demoralized, so you just keep attacking them and don't give them a chance to regain the morale. The,
Okay. So
but
if you did that in EU4, you'd stack wipe them as soon as you win a battle with twice their troops at the end of the battle and with in the first 12 days of battle.
yeah, I mean, I
So
guess
if you take
that's
on an extremely weak army, you'll just shatter it completely.
I mean that probably makes sense for that time period in history, but in the
Yeah.
Middle Ages, the early Middle Ages and stuff like of Crusader Kings time period, um, armies were much like less organized, and they were more likely to stop and loot corpses than to to keep chasing, and they were more, and if they were fighting, they were more interested in like chasing down stragglers and killing them so they could loot their corpses. Like looting was a
Yeah.
huge thing after battles in the Middle Ages.
Ah, somehow I've acquired a military factory.
Or taking prisoners who they could then ransom.
I now
Right?
have a military Oh, I took San Luis. That's where I got the
Yeah,
military factory.
it'll disappear again. That military factory, as soon as you lose San Luis, you lose the mill.
Yeah.
But
So now I pull them off this front and give them a fallback line, yeah?
yeah. Um, yeah, and you can cancel the guys who are attacking there.
Yeah.
Um,
Because they
yeah,
don't
and
need to do that anymore.
yeah, and you have
Oh,
them.
I should strategically redeploy.
If you strategically deploy, they'll probably get attacked and they'll lose the battle. I would just march in normal, even though they'll take a little attrition. Into
Okay.
Leon. They, and once they leave, if you go to your production queue though, yeah, okay, it's on support equipment. Cool. It'll actually probably finish that one that was already partially produced, or maybe not. Get another day or two of progress in that, but I would leave it how it is because when you lose the factory again, uh, that way, you don't want to lose the infantry equipment factories because those are more important. So you lose stuff from the bottom of the queue up, basically.
Oil. Oil.
Hmm?
I got the oil too.
Yeah, San Luis controls for a little while. You have the oil in Tamaulipas, which is good. That'll rebuild your fuel
Can't wait till I
stocks.
get my oil back permanently.
Oh yeah, not having it belong to the United States anymore
Yeah.
because I
I
lost my resource rights when they rose up and
I
rebelled.
hate multinational I hate multinational corporations so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that if it gets people to realize the like U.S.
Give me back.
imperialism, the fact that
I
our,
like yeah.
I mean, who did the labor to work the oil fields? Mexican workers.
Yeah.
Where did all the profits go? The United States. And where did most of the oil go? Because the U.S.
The
had the
United States.
money to buy the oil because the profits are going to the United States. The United States. So
Yeah.
all the oil and all the money went to the U.S. All the labor came from Mexico. It's imperialism.
Yeah,
None of
I'd
it.
really appreciate control of my own oil.
Yep. A lot of countries would too. That's
Yeah.
literally why all the wars in the Middle East happen because all these countries would really appreciate war control of their own oil, and because there has to be some
You know,
excuse.
these communists really shouldn't be controlling my oil. That's kind of private property.
Well, communism is yes is a path. So,
I
uh,
suppose they just didn't really think
it's not.
maybe a communist Britain should be less uh
I
global.
mean, the game has no mechanism to remove their oil rights. They probably should give up the resource rights in Veracruz and stuff.
At least if
Although
I ask.
yes. Although there is a
And
factor of a socialist party is now taking power in England, but it's not an instantaneous process. It's
at the very
usually
least,
it
they
would
shouldn't
take
let their oil barons persuade them to attack me. Right? Their oil barons should be dead,
yeah,
really.
well, yes, they shouldn't be able to get a
Or
war goal from you
obvious.
nationalizing the oil fields. Like even if they're
Yeah.
going to continue because it's not like they're literally pointing a gun at you stealing the oil. It's like they're
Yeah.
multinationals own it, and they still have multinationals even if they've nationalized the companies at this point. and it
Yeah.
and
At this
historically when socialist parties took power it took years to nationalize companies. It's not like it happened
fair enough.
overnight. It's like we're going to
Yeah.
nationalize this company and
That's
we're going to
the
spend the next 3 months worrying about that. Now we're going to nationalize this company now that we're done with that, and we
and
can it takes
with
time.
like with like all the alt history interactions that could potentially happen across the entire world, it's fair that they miss a few here and there.
Yeah,
I'd say this is one of the more minor ones.
but when they UK always
But
has
yeah,
those oil rights. So they UK got the oil rights in the same DLC that Mexico got its focus tree. So they
yeah. So you'd
should
think they
have
would have. Yeah,
Yeah, they should have realized that
should
that
have the same people working.
communist UK is willing to withdraw from like Northern Ireland, so they should have been willing to withdraw
Yeah,
from controlling the oil fields east of
or at the
Mexico
very least,
City.
not. Yeah, at the very least, they should be like not willing to go to war over me nationalizing it.
All right, hold on a second. So yeah, this has been over 2 hours, so this is definitely gonna be another video I'm gonna have to cut in half. But
Yeah,
I guess I saved the game so that we can end this.
yeah. So you can.
Unless I don't know if you're doing so, you've probably been changing some things. I don't know. Have you?
I don't know. I might have actually. I don't know. I
I
was just
can
looking over at
reset.
Turkey and noticed that
Yeah.
Turkey died. Turkey's
Ah,
just about dead.
yeah. They're getting crushed by the French and British. France
Yeah,
has conquered most of them. I think when I fast forward,
France
it was
has no stability.
yep.
France is at 1% stability.
Oh, you know what that's gonna mean since they are going the right wing path.
Huh.
As some There's a pretty good chance at some point they're going to suffer a communist revolt. Remember in our multiplayer game where that happened?
Oh. Oh, right.
It has a pretty short mean time to happen when they are at 1% stability. So there's a good chance that France suffers a civil war because they're currently in an offensive war.
Hmm.
They have 1% stability. I don't know if they have to ban the Communist Party first or remove the political violence spirit or to trigger it, or if it just has a mean time to happen. I think it's just a mean time to happen. So there's a reasonable chance that this goes on much longer that France will have a civil war because they're like under 30% stability, and I think there's a mean time to happen. But they might
Yeah.
capitulate Turkey first because Turkey is almost dead. Um, yeah, they're getting crushed.
Yeah, there's not much left of Turkey.
They're at 94% of the way to capitulation. Yeah, they're going to surrender once they lose some soon, probably, or cars. Yeah, and then the British or French are good. And British and French are just gonna divide up Turkey. There's not gonna be anything left of it, pretty much.
As they're gonna annex it or puppet it.
They're gonna puppet it.
Ah, okay.
It looks like Turkey is an economic collapse. By the way, they went to total mobilization to desperately try and like squeeze out one more military factory, and that put them into economic collapse.
Mm.
Which, yeah, you should never go total mobilization as Turkey
Would it be
unless you're
unique mechanics?
they have a unique decision that can help prevent this from happening. But if they don't take it, what?
Do they? What is economic collapse? Is
It's
this
a national
specific to?
spirit, if you look at it.
Yeah.
So
Is
they
this
start
specific
with
to?
the Tatism. The first time they increase the mobilization of the economy, they get like Tatism has become unstable or something. It makes the spirit, I think, less strong, but it's still a net positive. And if they increase the mobilization of the economy again, then it switches to economic collapse. There's a decision that can remove economic collapse. They can take cost political power, although they probably don't have
Yeah.
the political power for it because their political power gain is probably negative right now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I don't think they get the Taoism spirit back. So you can increase your economy law exactly once as Turkey. Basically, you either want to wait till you can switch to war economy and then just stick in war economy, or switch to partial mobilization. I'm not sure. I don't think if you go straight from your starting economy to war economy once, I don't think it causes economic collapse. But if you do it twice, if you step up twice, you're in trouble. Basically, their system has like it's really fragile mix of planned economics, free market economics, and like something else. It's like three different systems meshed together, and it's kind of unstable. So
Yeah.
trying to mobilize their economy for war is destabilizing to it, and they can do it once, but if they do it twice, where they step up the level of mobilization again, the whole economy collapses like a house of cards. So,
Jeez.
and that's what's happened. And they have minus 40% production efficiency cap, minus 40% stability, minus 30% construction speed, minus 30% war support, and minus 0.5 base daily political power gain. So it's like they have no political power, they have no stability. Their war support is only 52%, even though they're in a defensive war, and they have base 90% war support. So it's it's bad. They're also eligible for like strike events because they don't have the war support to maintain total mobilization. So they're in deep shit. Even if they survive as a rump state, they're going to be like producing nothing for a long time. Turkey is pretty much done for. They're not going to be significant for the rest of the game, probably.
Yeah.
To be a tiny rump state, if they're anything at all, and they'll be stuck with like very, very poor. Well, actually, economic collapse expires in September of this year, doesn't it? So actually,
He's gonna take back Istanbul.
so their economy will recover come September. Actually, that's not that bad. Just 6 months of collapse left. What about Istanbul?
Is Greece gonna is Greece gonna take back Istanbul?
Oh yeah, they're gonna annex Istanbul and everything in Western Turkey when this war is over.
Ah.
They
Do
still
they do
haven't.
they do they rename it Constantinople or only if they're going their Byzantine route?
I think they have to go the Byzantine route, but I'm not sure.
Ah, okay.
They might keep the name, but they'll control it and they'll core it. They may or may not
Okay.
rename it to Constantinople, but yeah, Greece is going to take Western Turkey and Istanbul, and the rest of Turkey is going to be divided up as French and British puppets mostly. Um, France might also create an independent democratic Turkey that's like just generic tree, and then there might be a Turkish rump state. So
Yeah.
yes, they might like still control
All
one
right.
or two states after the. It depends because France and the UK are probably going to fight each other in the peace conference for like
Yeah.
France is going to be trying to break off parts of Turkey as an independent democratic Turkey, and the UK is going to be trying to create communist puppet. And so they're going to
Right.
be wasting their war score fighting each other, and so there's probably going to be a tiny Turkish rump state left in the end because they're
Mm,
going to be
okay.
contesting certain states. That's usually what happens in a situation like this because the AI would rather screw over their rivals than make sure there's no rump state left, which actually the rump state is an advantage to them because it means that their puppets don't inherit the terrible national spirits that Turkey has or the really huge focus tree, which will probably be a lot. It's actually better to leave a rump state anyhow. People hate it because of border gore, but it's actually smart to do.
How come?
Um, what?
How come?
Because their focus tree will probably be a lot after the war. So it's better to have, for instance, the UK to have a communist puppet with a generic tree that they can actually run than to have Turkey with its
Oh,
spirits
I
that's
see. So
completely locked out of its focus tree.
if you don't leave a rump state, then one of them would be puppeting Turkey.
Yes, with all the national spirits and all the focus tree that applies,
Okay.
except the focus tree will probably be locked at that point. It might not. It depends. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't after a war like this. And even if it's not locked, it's a really huge, kind of inefficient focus tree, and a lot of their focuses require control of particular states. So they still get locked out of certain industrial things, probably. Um, and Turkey has like really low base stability. So even if their focus tree were pretty good, they have 30% base stability. That's not great. And they have minus 15% from sectarian lows. Like their stability sucks. It's
Yeah.
questionable. The rump state is kind of better because then they can always go and fight another war to puppet the rump state later if they want. I think that unlocks the focus tree if it gets locked. Sometimes, sometimes it's not locked anyways, so it's very inconsistent. I've never been able to figure out when the focus trees get locked and when they don't. Um, but yeah, God, I was talking about the shenanigans that like CVS and CVS Caremark and Walgreens and their PBM poll headed towards monopoly and a few parent companies just owning all the pharmacy industry. But yeah, it's a mess. Um, oh yeah, you have oil now, right,
Yeah.
Joe? Uh,
A little bit.
you have not quite enough that the AI will buy oil from you because you don't have 8, and they'd rather get a full 8 than 7. So I'll buy that oil from you for like a little while you still control it until they take back some lease, because you'll probably control it for a few days, and you'll get an extra SIF factory out of it, as well as maybe a little bit of support equipment. I don't know if they'll finish the one that's currently in progress, but at least a little more progress than the current piece you're working on.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess or if you're good on pause, I guess for a couple days here. I'm going to probably cut this video in 2. It's already way too long, so
Yeah.
we can add a little more length, and each video will be about an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes, which is still a little bit longer than I like, but it's not long enough to divide it into 3, so now I'll just unpause. Um, hmm?
Sometimes I get a noise, but I don't know what I'm being notified of.
Oh, well, it depends what the noise is. If you heard people shouting, like,
Yeah.
that could just be battle ambient music, or
It's like the noise that indicates that a decision is available usually, or an event or something.
oh,
I don't
it's
really
like a
know what
sound
it's
of a
supposed to.
ticker. Oh, you're probably picking up from. Is that what you just heard?
Or is it? Oh, does low supplies make its own noise? It might be
Yes.
that.
When low supplies activates, it makes a warning
Indicator.
sound. I just got things saying that a state is interfering with tax collection. North Carolina is trying to not pay taxes.
Of
So
course.
what?
Of course.
So I'm delaying action on that because it'll slow my progress in finishing infrastructure in Oklahoma. And if I think, and I started production in some military factories in Washington, and both of those things. Anyways, there's point is there's good things I'd rather be doing with my factories than get the benefits. I'm trying to wait as long as possible. I can wait 2 weeks till I suffer the debuff, and then for a month I have higher consumer goods factory. Factor is what it is. All right. Anyways, on pause. How is it going with you're pulling the divisions back to Leon and letting them retake San Luis?
Yep. They're walking.
Oh shoot. I knew it was something I was forgetting. I just remembered. I was going to promote one of my guys to field marshal. I was about to ask you about command power. I'm like, wait, I have command power to spend. Lloyd Fredendall. He's just in charge of my coastal garrisons, so he's unlikely to see combat before. And actually, I probably did want to wait because there was a blizzard in Bangkok, and I would have suffered supply attrition. Supply there is so terrible. If I had promoted him earlier, I came very close to suffering supply attrition during the winter, and now it's spring, so Bangor, Maine gets spring really late in the year. Like there's still snow actually a little further in Vermont. There's still snow in like northern Vermont and New Hampshire. Not enough to count as snow modifier, but you can see it on the map still.
Yeah.
It's like a light dusting of snow still remaining. Yeah, winter weather. Um, there might be actual provinces here and there that still have the snow modifier. I haven't checked every one of them. Northern Minnesota is still very cold. Oh, there's still snow in northern Montana. In fact, deep snow. So yeah, based on there's some sort of system with like how long the province has been warm, where like the snow gradually melts. I think there's like a simulated snowpack levels, and it slowly decreases. But I don't know. I could be wrong. So,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Is there a weather map?
is there a weather map? Is that what you just asked?
A weather map mode.
There might be one of the weird alternate ones no one ever looks at.
Yeah, I
You can. I
not
thought
see.
there's a graphics mode to display weather. So, and if you zoom out way out, sometimes if you go to air view, I don't know, you don't usually see the weather, but sometimes you can see it on.
Mm,
Like I've sometimes seen storms racing across Brazil and stuff on the map.
yeah.
I can see a storm over southern Brazil right now in Uruguay. So some weather
Oh
is
yeah.
visible, but some of it isn't. I've never been able to figure out the pattern. Um, but
Weird.
yeah, I was going to ask about your command power and political. How much political power do you have saved up?
17.
Hmm. So still too early to start improving relations with Bolivia. I think they're going to be
Yeah.
probably
I mean,
yeah.
maybe not because they're at 35, but yeah, probably still pretty early.
Oh yeah, you could start it now and get them up to 50 opinion and then cancel it, which probably be next. I would just wait, just in case something happens, like Chile declares war on him before you could bring him into the faction.
That's true.
Um,
Might as well wait till I have at least 20-ish, 25.
yeah, till you're a little closer. And just if you do it next game session, you're likely to remember that you want to pull it off right when you reach 50 and invite them once. Because, like, you could get
Yeah.
them to 50 and invite them probably all before the end of April. So, like, you don't have to worry about the -3 monthly decay, but still. Um, anyways, yeah, so you got that. You're pushing north. Oh, is that. Are you attacking Pedro Negras or the mountains west of it?
Oh,
Because I'm
I'm
look.
not attacking anywhere right now. I'm being attacked.
Oh, because I see a division that's deorged that's retreating out of Pedros Negras.
Maybe they retreated too. I don't know how that happened.
You must have been attacking earlier, and like the divisions called off the attack or something, or got
Oh, you
defeat.
know what? That might have been it.
If you go to your combat log, it'll tell you like if there was a battle there that you failed when you were attacking or something.
Oh yeah, looks like it. Yeah, because I didn't want them to. That was from the manual order,
Yeah.
and I decided to have them. Well, they got pulled off in part. They're being attacked from Monterey.
Ah. Yeah, I see that battle bubble. So yeah, so you decided to wait, and they do. Looks like they have at least 3 division in Pedros Negras, maybe 4.
Yeah, 3 divisions.
Yeah, so I can see why you pull it off if you're getting attacked, because that's not be the quickest battle. Um,
And I'll just let the general decide when they'll attack again.
yeah. If you it's worth noting when you Pedros Negras provides a little bit of local supply
Running out
because
of
it's a
plan anyway.
yeah. So
Sorry.
if oh, I was gonna say Pedros Negras provides a little local supply because it's a victory point. It's not much, but it's just a tiny bit. Like a
Yeah.
1 point victory point like that would provide how much? Durango is 10. Let's see if I can find one that's worth 1 that you control to check. Ah, here we go. In the Yucatan, you have level 1 and a 3. Oh, it doesn't show me anything other than how much supply is available locally. Darn. But anyways, it provides a little bit of local supply. So if you take it, then the mountains west of it should be a little easier to take because whoever's defending it will be even more undersupplied than they already are. Because all their supply comes from local supply since you have their capital surrounded. Or no, they moved their capital to Monterey now.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Ooh, well, all the more reason to take Pedros Negras to cut off the divisions west of that from the supply network again. I don't know if they'll move their capital back to San Luis if when they retake it or not. You probably let them retake it anyways so they can build infrastructure there, harvest their infrastructure
This
focuses.
division can be awarded a medal.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that you, if you look, you probably whoever took San Luis can now be awarded a medal.
Grant
That's
citation.
Yeah, that spends political power and it gives the division a permanent bonus and it gives the junior officer in charge of it 100 experience points. So they're like they become a good candidate for promotion. I
Should I
used
do that?
well, you're trying to add nations to your faction right now, so probably not
Right.
at the moment,
Okay.
but it won't go away. You can do it later after the war or something. So
All right.
it's definitely good to remember that and give the medal to the division before you promote the junior officer. Because if you promote the guy who's eligible for medal without giving the
Can you
medal,
farm
that
medals?
disappears. What?
Right. Can you farm medals? Like, what if I take Monterey?
Yeah, you can farm medals. If you let him retake San Luis so that you don't cause him to capitulate, and then you take
Right.
Monterey.
That's
If
true.
Monterey is still their capital, yeah, you can keep getting medals over and over. It's kind of an exploit, but people have been known to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean
Funny.
it's less of an exploit because it's not like you've ever taken Monterey before, but yeah, obviously you're intentionally dragging out the war just to get more medals at that point and letting him retake
Yeah.
stuff. But people have been known to do it. Yeah, it's doable.
That's funny.
Um, Now on pause for a little. I've stopped building really big ships because they require lots of steel, and I'm gonna lose control of the Midwest. My war begins. A factory was moved from Kentucky to Mississippi. They keep moving Civ. The Confederacy is gonna have like no military factories, but they're gonna have a ton of civilian industry. Works for me, I guess. Uh, yeah, but Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was saying I've stopped building really big cruisers because they cost more steel. But just something to keep in mind when you get to torpedo cruisers is they do take a considerable amount of steel to build. They're actually really good, but uh, yeah, at some point you'll probably want to build a naval research facility to get them. So when you have a little
Okay.
more steel, do keep that in
Oh,
mind.
they're going to the right.
Yeah, they're trying to
They
attack
take
that
the.
into those planes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't hurt.
All
It's
right.
like if they want to fight there, like is um are they fully planned though? Are they
No.
doing what?
No.
Oh, oh, you still have him executing the battle plan, right?
Oh, should I turn that off?
Yeah, I would probably turn it off and call off that attack and let him all replan because he's just going to keep attacking random places as long as that's on. And even though I think you drew the spearhead to Pedro Negras,
I mean, I could let them win it. They'll win in less than a day.
they're pulling reinforcements in, so no.
Oh,
Reinforcements will
you're
arrive
right.
in 13 hours, so
Okay.
besides, you're gonna just overextend your front. Actually, now that I think about it, you probably want to prioritize the victory point or the mountain. The mountain's good defensive terrain, but the victory point is supply, and it'll still cut off the divisions west of it. So I would focus on the
Yeah.
victory point, and you can only defend so many places at once. Like so, yeah. Anyways, are you good to save now? Because I think I should probably be cutting this video
Yeah, that's
even.
fine.
It'll be like two 1 hour, 16-minute videos now
That's fine.
if I cut in half. All
We
right.
can save it here.
And yeah, I'm gonna save the game. I just wanted to make sure you weren't still microing something like,
Nope.
and then I wouldn't be saved in because I'm saving it right now.
I'm ready.
Cool. Folks in YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video and the one before it, which I guess doesn't have an introduction or something or an end because I just cut the video in half. Some of these just get to be too long. Take care of each other, be kind to yourselves, and may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Adieu.